intermittent fasting is something that is in vogue right now. It comes up quite often, and I have a particular observation on that with the clients I work with day in and day out, and that's the information I'm going to relay to you in this video.
Hi, welcome to the Judy Terrell Show, where I explore topics intended to optimize every body 50, 60, 70, and above.
Hi, everybody. Intermittent fasting. What's the skinny on that? Is it helpful for weight loss and other health issues? And if so, why is it working for some people and not working for other people? And can it help you? Well, that's what this video is all about. Hi, everybody. I am Judy Terrell, and I am a nationally board certified health coach. I am in a PhD program for lifestyle as medicine, as a doctor of that. I have a robust practice in upstate New York in America, and I see clients on a day-to-day basis. I specialize in over 50 men and women, and weight loss is one of the biggest reasons why people come to see me, because that is related to how they feel in their own body, but also their health and longevity moving forward. And intermittent fasting is something that is in vogue right now. It comes up quite often, and I have a particular observation on that with the clients I work with day in and day out, and that's the information I'm going to relay to you in this video. All right, so intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating, it's kind of used interchangeably. What is it? All right, most of us, when I have clients come in and we talk about this, they'll talk about it, but then when I ask them, like, what is it? They kind of get tongue-tied. They're not quite sure, they're not clear on the science. So let's clear up what we're talking about. All right, intermittent fasting, time-restricted eating is about taking it to a longer, period of time to not be ingesting anything in order to give your body, your digestive system, your endocrine system, your nervous system, a chance to kind of tidy up and clean up so that you can be, low in insulin resistance and better able to manage your weight and more in control for a lot of chronic illnesses that are related to us just eating too much and eating throughout in like a 24-hour time window. I don't know if it's ever been before in human history, but that we have the capacity, ability, and accessibility to be able to eat 24/7 should we decide to. And a lot of clients are failing at trying to get their weight where they are happy and healthy, partly because they're constantly snacking, skipping meals, and then grazing all day long and then into the night. And that is, disturbing our circadian rhythm of the chemistry and the, processes and systems of our body. Now, on the other side of that is then introduce intermittent fasting and time-restricted eating. And the science is showing that it can be an effective tool at trying to help to regulate your weight and your health conditions, because what it does is it allows processes called autophagy and mitophagy to actually occur. And autophagy is basically the body and its ability to, clean up and do away with the products that are in it, like toxins and leftover vestiges of undigested food, things that go through the leaky gut into our system. It gives our body a chance to, basically tidy those things up and then be able to put that energy that is always going towards tidying things up to actually, clearing out dead cells and then creating new ones, right? Letting cellular repetition and reproduction happen. When your body is constantly dealing with, things coming in, it can't do as much of the cleanup as it needs to do. And I'll use a metaphor here that really clearly illustrates this, which I use for my clients when I'm seeing them one-on-one. If you have house guests and they come and they stay for a month, you're not going to be up to speed with the laundry, with the dusting, with the vacuuming, with, cleaning up the dishes in the kitchen sink and the bathrooms. Now, let's just say they stay for a month and then you have another group of friends come in without any downtime, and they come and stay for a month. You can see where your house, like even if you're vigilantly trying to stay on top of things, there isn't enough time and energy because you're doing the entertaining and there are people actually living in that space. That is a very, very accurate metaphor for what is actually going on in our bodies. When we are constantly taking in, more nutrition and more food, good, bad, or indifferent, we don't have the time to tidy up and clean up, and it gets dirty inside, right? So we want to have a period of time, and usually corresponding the time restricted eating with overnight fasting, because you're not eating when you're in bed sleeping, is a good thing to do. Not only is that going to help you with weight management, it is also going to help you with health management of the chronic illnesses, diabetes and insulin resistance that happens before you even get diagnosed with diabetes. And that is also related to weight management. So that plus brain, they're calling dementia now diabetes 3 because the brain is, in the function of it and keeping that clean and tidy, using my metaphor here, is directly related to whether or not our gut is being kept clean and tidy. Because when things get through, like I said, the leaky gut into the inner sanctum, they also get up into the brain, causing cognitive function decline, inflammation, and a host of other things that go on up there, coming from just constantly, just too much eating the wrong foods too. But I'm not talking about that in this video. I'm just talking about the timing of the eating. And then, so brain, decline and function decline is related to the eating times that we're doing and the effect on the digestive system. When you have tried all the programs and done all the right things, and yet you still can't lose the weight that you're trying to lose, and you're a male or female over 50, now is the time for you to look into my program, Your Second 50.life. It includes online video support. You can download video and PDFs for eating plan and exercise plan appropriate for over 50. It includes group support on a monthly basis, and perhaps even more importantly, it includes weekly individualized coaching specific to you. Having the generalized plan is a good thing. I have helped literally thousands of people to lose weight over the 43 years I've been in practice, and I'd like to help you too. All right, so enter time-restricted eating and intermittent fasting. There is a place for this in weight management and health management, but what I am observing is in my clients, and especially for clients that are over 50, both men and women both, we're doing it incorrectly in terms of the timing of the window. So the most common one is 16-8, not eating for 16 hours and then eating within an 8-hour window. That's very difficult to do on a regular day-to-day basis. So a lot of people are doing more of a 12-12 or a 14-10, where you're not eating for 12 hours or 14 hours and then, eating within the window of a more restricted eating window than 24 hours. All right, so any one of those can work, but here is where people are doing it incorrectly and not getting the results thereafter. All right, ready? It is the timing of that restricted eating. Most people are not eating. They're trying to intermittent fast and take their first meal between 11 and 1 o'clock in the afternoon, 11 a.m. and 1 o'clock, and then stopping around 8 or 9, maybe 10, and then they'll get their 16-hour window. But here's why that is failing a 50-plus population especially, but everybody, no matter what age. I want you to keep this in your mind. Eat with the light. What the science is now showing is that even if you eat the same amount of calories, macros, and food, but you eat it after 4 o'clock and later, 40%, that's what most people are doing, 40% of their calories coming in after 4 p.m., even if you're intermittent fasting and not starting to eat and keeping in that time-restricted window, you are messing around with the circadian rhythm of ghrelin and leptin, which are our hunger hormones, cortisol and melatonin, which is our sleep phase and awake hormones. And what is happening there is that even on a restricted calorie intake, you're eating it at the wrong time. And even with the intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating, you are now going to block your body from going into fat storage overnight and block the tidying up that's supposed to occur overnight, and you are not timing the fuel at the time of the day when you're more active, most active, during the morning into the afternoon, and so that time restricted eating window of breaking your fast between 11 and 1 and then stopping eating at like 8 or 9 it's almost like the right approach but the wrong administration. And here's the key. If you switch that and you break your fast around 8 a.m. and then you eat until about 5 and then do, a 12, 14, or 16-hour fast, through the overnight, and then not eating within hours of going to bed, that like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., not eating then, right? And doing your fasting window from 8, or your eating window from 8 a.m. until 6 p.m. or maybe even 5 p.m., you're going to get the benefits of the intermittent fasting and the tidying up and the lowering of insulin resistance and the not messing up the hunger responses from ghrelin and leptin, which will now better enable you to stay within the calorie deficit you're trying to do if you're trying to lose body fat, than you would if you are eating, in a window within 11 to 1 p.m. and then going till 9 o'clock at night. Read the science. Google, Scholar, AI, Chat GPT. Look this stuff up. Mark my words. You're going to find science that is now showing that, and this is how science advances. We take the studies that were done and then we refine them. We find out, we do a different cohort, we do a different age group, we do a gender differentiate, and then we get different insights, right? And that's kind of what's happening here with this intermittent and time restricted eating, all right? So if you are over 50, a male or female, you can use intermittent fasting or time restricted eating to your benefit, but you will do best if you take your eating window from 8 a.m. or even 6 a.m. and then go to either 4 or 6 p.m., depending on what time you start that, and then do your overnight intermittent fasting and then start eating your breakfast and cap it earlier at night, you, my friend, will start to see the results that you're after. All right, buddy. I hope you found this video helpful. Please subscribe to my channel. Check out my Your Second 50.life subscription platform. It is a game changer for many people because I am vetting and putting the information on there that is skewed towards 50 plus. And there's differences in the science for our demographic. I am 62. I am minimally supplemented. I have had no procedures and I live a healthy lifestyle, and I am a coach and, a practitioner servicing clients one-on-one. And now I'm expanding my reach into the virtual, for a bigger effect and helping more people. All right. So check out my other things and I will see you soon on another video.
And if you'd like to have access to some of my additional resources, I can be found at Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and on my website, www.judyterrell.com.